hi everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Tact and Diplomacy, the game where absolutely nothing bad happens and all of my players are super chill at all times. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please check out these opening links, including all the places you can find us, interact with us and our community and get involved, including Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Patreon, Streamlabs, Redbubble, all sorts of places. Go and check them all out. They're great. Also, check out our sponsors, Mage Hand Press, whom we're very proud of as they make this all possible. Thank you very much, Desert Black. The first advantage will be free. It goes in the pot. Whoever wants to use the first one, that's a free advantage. Anyone recognize this tune? Before we go into things, anyone recognize it? Anyone associate it? Okay, cool. So let's go around and say hello to everyone. We'll go the other way around the screen this time and start with D&D and Paige.
Hi, everyone. Now I'm like scrambling through my brain, like, do I know this tune? Was I happy or was I terrified? Hi, everyone. I'm D&D and Paige. I play Eleanor, a little sugar cube of a human being who had an interesting ending last time. No, I'm super excited for every Monday. I cannot wait to play. Try not to kill me, Scrat.
To add to the mystery, you may not hear this track very much more in the future. Next round, Mackenzie!
Oh, hi. I'm concerned. But that's normal, because that's just who I am. Anyways, hi, I'm Mackenzie Lane Day on Twitter. You can call me Mac. I am a tabletop role-playing games online content creator. You can find my work on this channel every Tuesday as the DM for Apotheosis, a retro-themed D&D 5e campaign. I'm also a player here every Monday, as well as over on Encounter Roleplays The Broken Crown every Wednesday. You can also catch me in podcast form. There's one that hasn't been announced yet, but the one that has been announced is that we are relaunching One-on-One a D&D Duet campaign, which is the podcast I run with my partner Dennis Aldea in our homebrewed D&D 5e world. Last but certainly not least, I just published my very first game on Itch.io. It is Burb Brains. It is a one-page TTRPG about noir pigeon detectives. It was #1 physical game on Itch.io this weekend, so that was a thing. And it's free, so you can pay me if you'd like, but you don't have to. The Burb Chaos is free for everyone to enjoy. I'm fine today. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be cool. It's fine.
For you, Mackenzie, I think this is going to be quite an easy session, quite low-key. You don't need to worry.
For the record, he says that kind of stuff to us every time before we start stream.
Yeah, this is the first time he singled someone out. He normally says that to all of us. He just singled me out, which makes me even more concerned.
Welcome to my world. He singled me out earlier.
Well, we'll get to you, Reese. Next around, we have Renee. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Cashel, fresh off the plane from TwitchCon. I went downstairs to get a burger, got some weird looks. Everything's great right now, so, well, I can't say some of what I did last game during a recap, so we'll come back to all of that as I figure it out. In the meantime, Renee does stuff on Twitter at RayDNR. She's a writer and podcaster and streamer, and so she's around doing stuff like Fate and the Fable Maidens, family-friendly actual play D&D, and like Edenfall, which is actually based off a Scratticus game and is in pre-production for release in 2020. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Also writing stuff, so check it out. Streams here Monday nights, like now, and also Wednesdays. I think that's it.
You did great.
Thank
I love
you.
your action stance as well.
I'm so ready.
You're so ready. Next around the screen, we have the wonderful A. Kelly Lane. Oh, hi, Kelly.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly, A. Kelly Lane on Twitter, A. Kelly in chat. I do stuff and things all the time. I'm here Mondays, obviously. I will be around over the next month or two, still shaking some things out. I edit stuff for DM's Guild write stuff for DM's Guild. Keep an eye on my Twitter for more of that. Keep an eye on Mackenzie's Twitter tomorrow for important secret woo things. And I sometimes write articles for Scrat's Patreon.
And last but most certainly not least, Ayla. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. It's me, Kayla. I'm not nearly as talented as the rest of these beautiful people.
Shut
But
up,
I
Kayla,
try.
you're beautiful.
Thank you. I try. I try really hard. Hashtag Reese tries. We're taking it away from Kate because Kate can't try anymore. Yeah, that's about all I got. I'm not ready for tonight, but I'm ready. Let's go. Hi.
Hi. For this week's recap, all players, please remove your headphones.
Oh, well, just starting the whispers early.
What? I don't get to do it? Indignation.
Hey everyone, so last week was one hell of an episode. We started the game with a tour of the facility, which mostly revolved around bacon, really, with the odd innuendo about Alienor needing some free time. During this time, Reese helped Eris sneak away to try and figure out where they had stored this Feondas that they had killed and captured. And Eris snuck away. Reese, concerned about Eris, then sent Hope, the Varigal that travels with them. For those of you that are wondering what this tune is, this is Hope's theme. This is Hope's music. I play it usually when we're walking with Hope. I played it the first time that we encountered Hope. Anyway, Reese then sent Hope after Eris. So Eris, whom Reese cares about, and then Hope, whom Reese definitely is fond of, are both sent off and separated. We'll get to them shortly. The rest of the group stay together. They end up going to the armory. However, when they get to the armory, they find some weapons which are strong against the Feondas. Just great, right? That's fantastic. Perfect. However, they hear a scream, I believe, and they all end up rushing over towards where Alienor is finding some free time. The scream came from their guide, whom Cashel had poisoned with Flux to try and figure out what Flux did. Turns out Flux makes you need to it essentially acts as a laxative. Your body just tries to flush it from your system, I guess. And she ran to the lavatories. There's a scream from there because the episode before, on the cliffhanger ending, we had snakes being sent by the Feondas towards this establishment. This perfectly safe establishment that the guards have worked hard to make safe from Feondas. It's got electrified Feondas fencing, they've got Feondas weapons, Feondas archers, you name it, they've got it. They've got everything, right? And the snakes managed to make their way into the compound. One took their guide, a very chipper guide. Unfortunately, she won't be with us much longer. Also, Alienor, as they rushed over towards where their guide had been, I'm trying to think of what a good word is for it, to be honest. Where their guide had been exhumed, I suppose. Kaiden saw a snake making its way into the room where Alienor was. This is fantastic. Everything is fine, right? So, they rush over to try and help Alienor. Reese and Cashel head over towards Reese and Cashel head over towards their guide. Kaiden heads over towards Alienor. And of course, Oh. It seems that Rene and there's a Zoom crash, so we need to just swap a couple of portraits around, but that's just fine. I was getting confused. I thought they were calling by the wrong names. Eris finds herself going into this museum, which has all old things in it to do with like different things to do with the capital city where they are, and all this wonderful sort of stuff. And then everything goes dark down there as Feondas emerge from the body that they found. The lights blow out just as the snakes form behind a mask on the wall right by the entrance. And that is where we left Eris last. Chat. I want to see your hype in chat. The more hype you show, the more upset these players are going to be. So bring all of your hype and get ready, because these we're gonna put the players through it today. You may not hear this tune. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm going to fade out Hope's theme tune. I'm not going to reveal it to the players. I'm not going to reveal to the players that it is Hope's theme. I'm not going to do it. So, we'll get everyone back, shall we? Should we get some tense music in? I think, yeah, they should come back to tense music, definitely. Okay, let's bring them back. Okay, it's fine.
Why did the music change?
I don't know. Why did the music change? Let's when Renegade. Today, I would like to start with Kaiden, please. Thank you all for coming back, Iliu. Kaiden, in this small room, where you see Alienor and you see this creature just latch onto her arm. I imagine Kaiden would look Alienor in the eyes.
Yes.
As they fill with black ink. Motes of darkness. Alienor's body goes limp on the ground.
I run over. Eleanor! Eleanor!
No response.
Is she on her front, on her back?
She's just crumpled, like her legs under her in an uncomfortable way. She hasn't landed like she fell. She's landed like about 150 pounds of flesh with bones in, with no real direction.
I'm gonna. I don't actually know what the recovery position is, but I'm gonna put her in like that.
I mean, yeah. Also medieval times probably didn't know either.
Lie her flat on her back. It's fine. Straighten her out as best as I can.
Straighten her out as best as you can. Yeah, that's got to help, right? Thank you very much, Bowman, for the advantages. I will add them to the overlay and let them know as we engage with them. Let's just double check who that was again, so that I can be doubly sure. I think it was Alienor Page and Aiden. Kayla, Page, and Rennie. Thank you. Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. Kaiden. Hey, what's your internal dialogue at the moment, buddy?
How many times can I say the word fuck on stream?
I mean, I think that probably gives us a good idea.
Yeah, that's about what it is. Where did the snake enter?
On the wrist.
Can I find any marks? Any marks?
On her wrist, there is a single mark. It doesn't look like, a picture or a snake or anything like that. It looks more like a... Imagine, if you will, just imagine, if you will, that something clawed had gripped hold of her wrist and just ripped it open. And then it had been let heal with no stitches.
So it's one line, or is it like multiple lines?
It looks more like sort of like an open, like a wound that healed poorly. Like it's open and there's like rip marks. It's like jagged in the wrist. It's
Alien's not looking up.
no. You start to hear her like
All right, I'm trying.
as it sounds like fluid is building up in her throat, maybe.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do the responsible thing, turn her on her side so she doesn't drown in her own vomit.
Yep, and she starts not vomiting, but just like foaming at the mouth.
All right. I took one of the Turgak daggers with me.
You have a Turgak dagger with you, yes. But before you do anything with it,
Mm-hmm.
is Kaiden feeling like he's failed?
Yes, 100% yes.
Make me a mental resistance roll, please.
I always forget where it is. It's the bottom of my sheet. There it is. Yeah, that feels about right.
Oh.
I'm not even gonna contest that. That is entirely what he's feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a lot of guilt.
Oh yeah, you can say that again. Instinctive. Kaiden. You are
I'm
feeling
here.
irritable. Oh, I haven't set up the warnings yet. Good point, everyone. Very good point. Because this game does involve a lot of sanity mechanics, and we need warnings. So let's get those up now. Thank you, Kelly, for reminding me. Yeah, do check those out because they are important. I literally just turned them on. It wasn't. If someone in chat could let Kelly know that I hadn't turned them on and she reminded me, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. She's not losing it. I didn't have it up properly. So you are feeling irritable, angry, frustrated. You would say that you would say not so much. Hey, Bowman, thank you very much. The advantage for each player, because they're going to need it. You have no idea how right you are.
Hey, okay, wait. No one else can hear this, but I want to speak for the entire cast right now. What the fuck, Scrat?
You can now consider your temper unstable. Especially when it comes to Alienor and things harming her.
Alright.
When you undergo a crisis, you are more likely to act violently than any other reaction. You are very likely to go against the established orders that you are given, and or take thoughtless risk.
Sounds about right. Oh boy. Well, speaking of risk, may I do this stupidly risky thing I'm about to try?
Depends. What do you want to try? What's Kaiden thinking they're gonna do?
Kaiden wants to try and cut this out.
That would mean hurting Alienor.
Yeah, he has a lot of conflicted feelings about that. I was gonna try and aim for wherever the entry point was and just get this dagger in and see if I could just use it to burn it away.
Okay. Describe it to me in detail.
Alright.
For Kaiden right now, like any action takes 5 times the length it should normally. You feel like you're moving through jelly as everything is taking much longer than it should.
I'll just try and flip Alienor over on her side and just sort of, sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna take the Turgak dagger and just sort of hover it near where the thing entered her and see if anything happens.
No reaction if you hover it.
I'm going to just gently press it against the more open area.
I mean, it's not open. It looks like a sealed wound. Looks more like a birthmark than a wound in truth.
If I don't do this, Alienor's gonna get more hurt, so fuck! Gonna push the blade against it.
Against it?
Yeah.
Thorough description, please. What exactly are you doing? Tell me where the knife point is. Tell me where the edge is.
I'm just sort of, I'm kneeling next to her and I have her arm in my lap and I just sort of trying really hard to remember what they did when they cut the thing out of me. I'm just gonna start tracing the knife against the birthmark or the mark on her skin.
Mm-hmm. Flat or edge?
Like, as in, like, using a blunt part or using, like, the pointy part?
I mean, like, I don't have any prop swords in here. If my hand was the sword, are you tracing like point, like edge, or like flat?
Tip of the dagger.
Tip of the dagger.
Trying very hard to emulate a surgical scalpel, but not doing great because boy ain't never done surgery before.
How much pressure?
Enough to bleed. Not like stabbing, but like enough to break the surface.
Kaiden.
You give me a chaotic and reckless, Scrat, I'll do chaotic and reckless.
You're a crafter, right? I think
I am
we
a crafter.
can compare this most. No, wait, hang on. You're a smith, aren't you? What kind of?
I am a smith, but I also I am better at delicate work and making trinkets.
Okay. Then you can use crafting for this. Give me a crafting roll.
You are a kind and generous DM.
I'm implying your disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay. On a 14, the blade pierces Alienor's skin. Alienor begins to bleed. Blood wells over the dagger. It wells over the pool and into your hands. There's no hissing, there's no burning.
As her eyes are still...
Her eyes are still black and inky.
God damn it! Fuck. I messed up. I'm gonna try and...
As it happens, it's a very neat cut. Very neat. You've not done a lot of damage, but... A cut to the wrist? Yeah, she's bleeding.
Yeah, I know. Slice off a part of my shirt and just start wrapping it up.
Make me a mental resistance check.
Is this against the blood, or what is this against?
Hurting Alienor. I just want to see how stable you are right now. If you want to, remember, you can always avoid a roll by description.
I was gonna say, hurting people he loves, that's old hat for him.
Oh! Then your hand is steady. You can bandage up this wound, no issue. Except for that internal anger. Who are you angry at, Kaiden?
Oh, I'm angry at me. This is my fault. I knew this was gonna happen. I just didn't fucking want to tell anyone because I didn't believe nightmares aren't normal for me, but they're just dreams. They're just dreams. They're not real. And I know I heard Cash say that they started having dreams about this when the thing entered them, but I should have told someone, but I didn't because I thought it was just a dream. I knew this was gonna happen. This is my fault. I thought this was gonna fix it and it didn't, and it's my fault. And this happens every single time I try to do anything. And it's bottling it up. It's pushing it down. You get the job done, you do what it needs to survive.
Is that what your childhood was? Before
Doing
the
what I
village?
need to survive. You don't join a thieves gang at 8 for fun.
Funny how similar she looks to some of those people. You know, the innocent ones.
I remember every single face.
It's not the look, it's that helpless limpness of them. Subtle reminder that despite all of our differences, all of our personality quirks, all of our trades, and we're all the same. We're
Some of
either
us are
that
just
way
worse than others.
or that way. Some are worse than others, Kaiden. Some are worse than others. Alienor's hand grips your arm firmly. Suddenly, her arm moves like a snake gripping your wrist. And that's where we're going to leave you for a little bit. You okay? Awesome.
All the O's.
All the O's. Okay, let's get the next two then. See you in a bit. I need to do like big hands for
Oh god.
Sorry, I spaced out.
So what's the last thing we all remember,
Well, there was a snake,
Mm.
and then there was a person who might be turning into a snake, but they were sitting on the toilet, and Reese definitely stabbed her. Didn't work though, so they're like standing up now, I guess, and then there's a snake right in the
Full
snow nearby. So
Cobra lady. This has gone very
Oh,
Indiana
yeah,
Jones.
yeah. She was just taking a poop.
Yeah, in the latrine, this woman stands, her skin blackened. Seems to have taken just mere seconds for this transition to happen, which means nothing to you, but might mean something to the chat. And there's a snake in the snow nearby. As I see it in my mind, Reese is closer to the latrine, and Cashel is closer to the snake. What are we doing with this information? Also, thank you very much, Gildy Wet Warm Snuggles, for that resub. You have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice. 3 months, you get a new badge. Well done.
I kind of want to just go for the bigger threat. I feel so bad about this. I cannot stress this enough. Reese feels terrible about stabbing somebody on the toilet. Mostly because he knows it looks bad. But at the same
Don't feel
time...
that bad about it. I think they were dying anyway.
Yeah, when you get a snake up the butt.
Is that what you feel bad about, Reese? You feel bad about stabbing someone? Okay, good to know. So, okay, you feel bad, but
Just
they're
in
like...
such a bad way. Like,
they're
just
like-
in such a bad way.
They're standing up. They are a guard. And they are wearing full armor. And they begin to draw a Turgak sword. Their eyes are inky black. Completely covered, a film over the eyes.
Not good, not good, not good. Cash, like, moves to hide behind Reese and also tries to keep an eye on the snake.
Oh, the snake is sort of pulling aggressive movements, but not like a normal snake. It moves almost more like a fluid than a snake. It just seems to take snake shape from this close analysis.
I wish I could be drawing it. I won't stop and draw it in the middle of, like, the dangerous situation, but I wish I could be.
Can I take the halberd and, like, stab her again to, like, stick her to the latrine? Like, the back of it?
Yeah. You hear that hiss this time as the Turgak metal touches her flesh. And as you push... Actually, make us an attack roll. Let's do it. Throw an
Yeah.
attack roll in. Do it, yeah. Let's use the
Close
system.
combat, swords.
Well, it's not a sword. It's a polearm.
So, close combat.
Close combat's fine.
14.
Yeah. On a 14, you pierce through the armor in front. It's only like leather, you know. It's tough,
Yeah.
but not that tough. And as you're a big guy. As you push this halberd through, you hear that hiss of metal and pin her to the back wall of the latrine.
And I'll step back away from her and draw the sword that we got.
She looks down and sort of grips the pole with both hands. But looks almost more like a... We'd know it as a zombie in our timeline.
Yeah.
Like, the dead don't rise in this world, so that's not a thing. There might be stories though, but she sort of looks at it almost like brainless and grips hold of the wood.
Cash, do you have the snake thing?
What snake thing?
The snake thing behind you.
I see it.
Well, what are you waiting for? Kill it. And he's gonna try to... I don't know. It didn't work last time chopping off heads, but it seems like the best option. So he's gonna try to cut her head off to make her stop. I guess. I don't know what else to do, man. This is gonna be so bad. There's no explaining this. There's no getting around it, so I might as well just cut her head off. Cause she's gone! She's gone! She's gone. There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. She's gone. So, just... I would like to attack with the sword and cut her head off.
Before you do
Better
so,
roll. Oh god.
Casual, that snake is moving towards you, sort of like not biting, but making to.
I'm gonna stomp on it.
That's a valid reaction.
That's what I got. So cash, because I mean I have a dagger, but like it's a snake. What am I gonna do? Dive and wrestle it and try and get it with the dagger? Like, no, I'm gonna step on it. What should I roll for that?
Thank you very much for that raid, Tales from the Grim. Welcome in,
Raid,
everyone.
hi.
Thank you. We're currently just with Kayla and Renee, or Casual, as we separate this party often to get, you know, more drama.
There's panic happening. It's a thing.
So you're trying to step on it, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Well. Oh my god, Renee, this is the first time I've looked at your character sheet. That is impressive.
What?
You min-maxer you.
He's calling you out.
I'm very proud. Okay.
Look, I got better at feats after the log thing. I did. I promise. I didn't just like get better at the things I'm good at. I learned from the wilderness and these obstacles, Scratticus.
Of course you did. It's fantastic. I think this is still going to be close combat.
Okay.
Unless you can justify maybe feats. Close combat.
I mean, I'm fine with close combat.
It could be feats, because she's using her feet.
No.
It's gonna be bad.
Sorry.
Not a natural failure. This is very good.
We're getting better.
What does Cashel wear on her feet?
On their feet, they wear they do wear boots. They're like kind of high-ish, like mid calf, black boots that tie it like lace up. Kind of heavy on the soles. I mean, they're very goth, you know.
Mm-hmm. Leather.
And, yeah.
Lots of buckles.
Absolutely buckles.
I see them. Yeah.
Thanks.
No, you're great. The snake begins to disappear into the leather of your boot. Like, your boot leather starts looking more black and glistening, almost to what we would recognize as PVC as it begins to cover it.
Like, over it or in it? Do I feel anything weird in my foot?
Don't feel anything on your foot yet.
Okay, I'm gonna, yep, I think I stumbled to the ground and I'm like trying to take the boot off then.
By all means. How complex is this lace up?
There are a lot of buckles.
Oh god.
I don't see the snake anymore.
Reese, as you turn around, you see this.
That she's struggling with a boot that's...
Much blacker than the other.
Oh god. What do I have? I don't just... Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at chat.
Oh.
I'm laughing at what Mackenzie and everyone else is going to think when they see that.
Take out a dagger and try to cut her boot without touching it? I mean, that's all I've got that I can help with.
Okay. So who
This
wants
is
to
gonna be
roll, and what do we want to roll? I think to get out of your boot, Cash, I mean, you probably do it a lot, so I would give you a free advantage on a feats roll. Thank you very much, Jess, for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders. How are y'all doing?
I roll.
I do appreciate the feats roll for this situation.
I was gonna say
yeah.
the same to like feats to slip a blade in there as well along her leg without cutting her and cut it off, essentially, too. But if she wants to go first.
Well, I can see that critical success feats roll. We'll say it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
The boot is off. You cut it free. Cashel, your foot will be very cold as it touches the snow. And the boot sort of moves.
The whole boot?
It's not like it's animated or anything like that. It looks like if you've ever like trapped a cat in a duvet when you're trying to make the bed, and it just starts like trying to figure out where it is and what kind of space it's in. That's what the boot is doing in of itself.
I'm gonna like continue to kind of scramble away in the snow from it.
I'm gonna take the big sword and kind of stab down at it.
You hear a resounding hiss, a small cry. Cashel, as you scramble away, you can look behind you and see... Can anyone remember what the guard's name was last week? I remember she was very
Julie.
jolly. Julie, of course she was. Julie was a lonely girl. Julie is working her way off of the pole, sliding it through her and making her way towards the end, leaving the halberd stuck in the wall and a sort of black ichor all over the handle.
Well, shoot. Shoot.
Does the shoe stop moving, or is it still just hissing and...
It hisses, it makes a crying sound, and then it doesn't stop moving, but it does start to separate. You see the fluid move back onto the ground, and it starts rushing towards a nearby bush. Like a dead bush. It's not evergreen. It's like a spindly, dead, almost like a small, well-maintained bramble. Probably
really
provides
like
berries
that
for the soldiers.
boot.
Sorry. He's gonna try to take the shoe off the blade,
Watch out, watch out.
turn back to Julie, and...
See that she is no longer sitting where you left her. You want
Yeah.
to roll to try and behead?
Yeah. Ain't got much else, but at least swords I'm good with.
We have a bunch of advantages gifted from our generous party. I don't know if you could hear earlier, but each of you have 2 advantages.
Oh, shoot. Well, damn. Not gonna use it on this one yet. Shit goes tits up, then I will. 15.
On a 15, please remind yourself of it.
You said this is just a broadsword, right?
Yeah, you picked up a broadsword. You did.
Does that count as a regular sword or like a claymore or... Because it does have damage, if
call
that
it-
counts.
Yes, that is what I was trying to remember, how to do damage. Yeah, but what's your damage?
It just says a flat damage. Well, I don't know what a sword is, but a claymore has 4.
Claymore has 4. Okay, that gives us a good idea. So as
If it's two-handed, and I'm using it two-handed, so.
Yeah, you swing and hit this creature. Can we still call it Julie? Who knows? But your sword hisses as it wedges into her neck. And she thrusts upwards, pushing it away. You can hear it burn as her skin makes contact with it as she lunges towards you. Please make me a give me a straight combativeness roll.
Oh. Where is that?
Right at the top, ways.
Oh. 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 Ugh. I have evasion though.
Yeah, okay, give me an evasion. Give me an evasion.
I know that was last minute, but
It was very last minute, but we'll give it.
yeah, that feels cheaty, but
Collides into you, Reese, and you can feel that she is going to take you down. You manage to evade, going to the side, and she lands on the ground ahead of you. You are not harmed. Your sword is on the floor.
scrambled to pick it up and try to go after her while she's still down.
She sort of landed on top of it. Cashel, what are you up to?
Watching this, watching the bush, and watching this.
You can see the bush blowing in the breeze. The gentle, like, twigs all just sort of like clattering together. Sort of gripping together. Sort of blackening. Twisting.
Is it like weaving something?
Yeah, like the branches are starting to weave together till they almost form like a mask that begins to grow. And already, if we remember from last week, Julie's bone structure is pushing itself out from her head.
Okay, I'm gonna start thinking of ways that I could weaponize flux in this situation, because I'm not gonna be able to do everything. I'm not gonna be able to do it all, and I can't swing big swords, so I'm like throwing open like the end, like the inside of my cloak where I have all of these like vials of flux, and like trying to parse out what I'm gonna do. I'm concerned because like it seems like whatever this is could take any form. And I'm not sure whether using flux on it would amplify that or worsen its ability to do that. So I think that there's like some scientific calculations going on in Cash's mind as they're trying to like count through their vials and like quickly and figure out, is it worth the risk?
I think that's where we'll leave you both for a little minute. We'll come back to you.
Oh god. All
I'm
right.
gonna eat my burger.
Enjoy. Eris. The music seems quite appropriate. The darkness descends on you in this museum of sorts. You can hear Hope walking next to you. Not walking, but you can hear her feet sort of shuffling. Sort of fumbling as she fumbles for things. What are you doing in the darkness?
Trying to see if I could hear anything else, because I know that there are lots and lots of things, and trying to make my way towards the exit. Daggering.
As you step towards the exit, you feel a squelch under your foot.
Ew.
You can make your way. However, when you get to the door, it is closed.
Can I just fiddle around for the handle? Is it like closed, or is it like locked, closed? Like, can I get it open?
Just feels like closed, but you remember last week that the mask was forming right by the entrance to this museum area. Do you want to rush towards the door?
Do I remember any other ways out of this room?
Seemed to be essentially a basement. The back section had been converted into a cell to contain this very problem.
Because there were snaky things in here with us too, right?
Yeah, 2 snakes came out of the body and 2 more came in from the doorway and formed into the mask. So you have an attack on both sides. As you can see, the museum curator also was blackened snakes seem to like discolor his skin, and you heard him start to stand up.
Do I have any idea if these things can see in the dark too?
Make me an erudition roll.
Nope.
Yeah, on a critical fumble, you don't have a clue.
I'm going to... Can I reach out for Hope?
Sure thing.
And when I get her arm, I'm going to
Careful! You scared the life out of me.
Shh. I'm going to grab both of us and put us. So I imagine there's like a door, right? And it's gonna swing. I hate not being able to do 3 dimensions on Zoom chat. I want us basically to have our backs up against the wall so that when the door opens, if that thing, so that we're facing the room. So if the one thing comes at us, we have our back to the wall and have our backs next to the door so that if the door opens, we can like shove and run.
When you grip Hope's arm, you grip the leather sleeve, and it feels sticky and cold.
But you talked to me.
The leather?
Do these snakes look anything like the snakes on her armor?
Not really. You saw them briefly when you were close up. They almost didn't look like snakes. They almost look more like a viscous oil than an actual snake.
Okay.
even when they bit the curator, it wasn't like a creature biting. It was more like a creature being enveloped in like a film of oil that sort of seeped into their skin and turned it black.
Gross. I also now understand the word squelch.
Squelch is a great word for this moment.
So gross. I'm gonna drop her arm. And then just
Go on.
and then just try to do what I was doing and get my back to a wall.
Okay, so from back whence you came, sitting near, like at almost that length of the room, right up against the cage, you hear a voice say, "Help me." Eris, we got to help him.
Or we could not because he was dead.
Listen, he's speaking. How do you know if people are dead?
Because he wasn't breathing and he was laying on the ground.
Maybe he was just a shallow breather.
No. Can Eris? I keep forgetting what insight check equivalent is. On hope here.
On hope? What are you hoping to? What are you hoping
to see what, like, see if I can get an idea of, like, is it like a very genuine we should go help him, or is it a like, come closer, my pretty?
Give me a relation roll. And this is on hope, right?
Yeah.
She sounds very concerned about this person.
We can't even see in here to be able to help him.
Would you listen to him, though? He's speaking.
Yeah, I literally can't do anything if I can't see.
And
so unless you have a solution to that problem, there's a whole lot of impasse here.
Don't you have your magic light thing or something?
Oh. Yeah, I do. Kelly's so panicked, she just like, run! Oh my god. Okay, Eris is gonna fumble around in her bag and try and grab her magic light. I don't know if I have any. I do have some flex charges, I think, but I don't know how many.
Thank you very much, Jess, who subscribed for a whole year. You get a new chat icon. You get all of the laurel leaves and everything, and you get to gift an advantage to a player of your choice. Let us know who in chat. Tag me so I see it. Eris, what kinds of flux did you have in your backpack?
I think I just had the green flux because I had some from my mentor, but that was it.
And you're certain that Cashel didn't put any of the other kind of flux in there?
No. So when I'm gonna grab flux and I'm going to I'm going to point the thing towards where I know the door is. So that if I hit something on accident, hopefully it's the bad guy on the other side. And then load it. Are we rolling a 1d2 to see what happens? Because that's what I would do.
You know you are. Oh, and the beautiful thing right here is that chat can't see what you've rolled because the box is quite large, so I move it up a little bit. That's There we go. Just put that in so you can see that, okay? Eris, you fumble around in your backpack. Your fingers finally grip hold of a piece of flux. You can feel it. It almost feels like a shotgun shell, you know, that sort of shape, a large cylinder with a thing. You catch it, you hold it the right way round, and you can fumble it into your nebula. You say you point it towards the door?
Yep.
Do you hesitate? Do you press that button straight away? Are you in a rush? Are you taking your time?
I'm rushing. After last session, Eris is very panicked about her existence. Oh. What's happening?
The light flares up, illuminating half of the room. The half behind you, you can see the shadows around. As you're pointing it forwards, it's around you that lights up, which seems strange. You see Hope standing next to you, her armor shining eerily. It sort of like has that fluorescent rainbow look to it, as it looks much darker than before, almost like PVC.
Like it's covered with something that might make a squelching sound?
It looks like it's something that might make a squelching sound. You can see where you touched her arm light up on your hands. There's black ichor on your hand. And then you realize why only half of the room is lit up.
Oh.
As you can realize that standing maybe 1.5 inches away from the muzzle of the gun, or the rifle, is a Feondas the size of a bear. Its mask looking down at you.
I really wish it was the boom one. Eris is going to scream. Number one.
Perfect. How loud do you scream, just out of interest?
Oh, this is like long, full, long, everyone's going to die kind of scream. Like the kind that makes your like arms hurt because you're squeezing the air out of your body.
This creature looks at you. Then slowly and deliberately turns its attention towards Hope. Hope stands aghast, her jaw dropped. She fumbles for her crossbow, turns and fires at it. The bolt makes a dull thud in its skin, and the creature begins to walk towards her. You have a light. What would you like to do next?
Something stupid. I'm gonna take one of my daggers and throw it at the back of the thing's head.
As you move around, you can see the door is open after all. It was just blocked by this creature. As you throw this as you throw this dagger at the back of this creature's head, it roars in pain and swipes hard at Hope. Hope's head bounces off the nearby wall like a football, and when she hits the ground, there's not a lot of movement going on there. Both the large Feondas and the curator, who in the light you can see is covered in this black ichor, his skull protruding from his face like a mask, both turn and regard you. How many daggers did you take?
2.
You have a dagger.
Can I roll to see like how positive I am that hope is like not of this world anymore?
Give me a magiance roll. If you have a relevant discipline, you may use it.
Magians? I do not have a discipline.
On an 11, you know enough to know the shape that a head should be. This ain't it. And blood and oil pool onto the ground.
I'm out.
As you turn to run, you hear, "Help me!" And then Hope's voice. "Wait, Eris." But you flee.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Reese.
Now, here's what's gonna happen, okay? We're gonna pull a little prank here. I'm going to create a new character in the Roll20 for you to start filling out.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that the others can think the worst has happened. I'm not going to make you roll a mental resistance roll, because that would give away that you're probably okay. But I will get you to do one when we next meet you, so log that and remember if I don't.
Okay. Okay. I did tell them that I had plans for a backup character already, so...
Okay, so yeah, that's that there. You flee from this thing, the light illuminating around you, and Eris, do you remember the way out?
It was pretty much a straight shot through the thing and up the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. There is a large bookcase in the way of that straight shot.
Does it look like there's like a lever or anything?
No lever.
Can I just try and shove it over?
No, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
You okay?
Yes. Yes. I appreciate for chat. Scrat and I may have talked about this possibility ahead of time. Okay, who's next?
Alien.
Do I leave?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
thank you very much, Eris. This has been wonderful.
Okay.
Oh, hi,
I had
Alienor.
to find my unmute button.
Alienor, so what's the last thing you remember?
Oh, you know, just the casual melting of a snake into my arm.
You were in a room. Kaiden burst in just behind you. You turned to look at him, not really sure why he was bursting in. And then you feel it sort of... It doesn't bite your arm so much as wrap around it and begin submerging itself into your skin. Within seconds, it's gone. Kaiden's making eye contact with you in shock. His thrown dagger having missed the creature altogether. Your arm feels cold. very cold. That cold sensation runs like blood up your arm, into your neck, and everything goes black.
Okay. Am I alive?
That's a really good question.
Oh my god.
Because Alienor isn't sure. If there is an afterlife, perhaps this is it? You don't have any sense of your body. You look down and can't really see yourself. But when you think about it, what you should look like, you sort of see like glimmers as if you're sort of there but not.
Can I move my arms?
Well,
I mean,
you
my
don't-
glimmer arms?
You don't really like have arms, but if you think about like moving them, you see your arm create that movement.
Eleanor tries to stand up. In whatever sense that makes sense to her at that moment.
Alienor, as you stand up, the world comes into focus. You stand in a glade, one of the many that you know of in the mountains. There's a sun on the left burning bright, and beneath it is a tree. You can see all three powers glowing in the tree. To the left, you see the very representation of the of all of the elements. You see Roim, you see Adair, you see Usgard. Oh, the Rindrath tree, the life tree. The sun clearly represents Aengil, burning all things, but also sort of, it's not a part of the Rindrath you can see, but they sort of work in a harmony together. Do you take a moment to study it? Or get
Yeah.
your bearings and look around elsewhere first?
I feel like if Alienor saw any representation of the life tree, she would probably kind of walk towards that slowly to see what happens.
You can approach the life tree.
You said that was in the center and the sun was up to the left?
You can, as you get closer, you can feel it. You know, the Roim, that creation magic rooting it to the earth, that strong grip. You can see Usgard flowing through its veins as water and nourishment fills its leaves, and you can feel Adair just passing through its branches as you get closer. That air, the passing or fading, removing the damage that Rindrath makes, but also helping the things that Angil takes away. That heat that draws water away. It's Adair, the air that pushes it all together into clouds and makes it heavy so it falls back towards the earth. Definitely not working together, but certainly a harmony, a flow of things.
Does I reach out and touch it? The tree itself, the bark?
Which hand?
My right.
Was that the one the snake bit?
I had imagined it being on my right, but So yes.
Your hand feels cold still, even here. And as you move it towards the tree, as you touch it, you see the tree blacken. As the bark you touch withers and dies at your very touch.
Ela would pull her hand back. And because weird things have talked to her in the past, Eleanor kind of just like, turns around and goes,
As you turn, your eyes are filled with a different image. This one, much more dreadful. Behind you, the only direction you hadn't looked as you saw the life tree and immediately became distracted, the forest is dead. Deader than dead. At first you think it almost looks like winter where the trees are spindly and there's snow on the ground. But as you look again, you can see the trees are dry, completely dried out. That's not snow on the ground. It's ash. And above it, in the darkness, that mask that you saw drawn in Eris's book looms in the sky, looking at you with fierce red pupils. And as you look, what do you try and look? What do you see? What do you look at?
Keeping my eyes on the mask, I think I would back up towards the sun, the fire spirit. I've seen it do things this before, and I don't know, it just feels like that might be the thing it can't touch, but I could be wrong.
Do you touch the tree again?
Not with my right hand. Maybe with my left hand to see if it talks like the Kamok or anything.
This tree has the silence of ancient wisdom. It doesn't say anything to you, but you immediately feel calmer in its presence. However, clearly from the touch of your right hand, this tree is not safe from this threat.
All right. Eleanor kind of looks around. Goes, any Kamok around right now? This might be a good time. Like left hand on the tree, weird, whatever her right hand looks like right now, waving. This might be a good time to kind of tell me a little bit of something here.
As you touch the tree and ask for something from the tree, it gives you the only thing it knows how. You don't feel any Kamo pass through you. Of course, the Kamo, they are just will-o'-the-wisps, just motes. Instead, you get raw energy. Usgard flows through you for just a moment. That water energy, and you feel as though you have had a good night's sleep, a hearty meal, and a flagon of whiskey. You don't feel on top of the world. You don't feel like, invigorated or anything, but you feel as content as a content thing. Happens in just a moment. Everywhere. Except your right arm. As this happens, you hear a terrible crash from behind you. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Were you continuing to face the forest as it was dying? Just holding the tree?
Yeah, I was facing and keeping an eye on the mask.
Okay.
Oh, no.
As you are looking that way, you feel this cold sensation rush from just your wrist up to your elbow and into your shoulder. And as it does so, a large section of forest, maybe the length of a football field, is consumed by darkness. Leaves evaporate. Moisture disappears. The trees, some of them fall as Roim is no longer holding them down. And though you can see just seconds ago, Adair was passing through their branches and keeping them moving, now they lie very, very still.
Was there anything that like physically follows with that, or was it just the darkness?
Well, you see the mask move closer,
Okay, the master. Okay.
but also the darkness and the destruction definitely moves across. Even in the glade now, it encroaches the glade, and you see the grass blacken and then disappear.
Eleanor kind of just blatantly talks to this weird mask thing, and it's like, all right, now you can, like, kind of like freaked out, like, you can stop now, you really can't have this one. You've taken all this, why do you even need this one right here? Don't you think you're being a little bit selfish? And is like sweating and trembling from even seeing this thing get so close.
The mask regards you. Join us, Eleanor.
Oh my god. I don't think so. I see what you do and I really don't like it. In fact, you can kind of take it back if you want. This isn't right. Whatever is going, if you're really not mad about the mining, I'll make sure it stops. But whatever is happening, I want no part of it.
This. And a couple of trees, dead, raise up and form like a five-fingered appendage that gestures to the scene behind you. Is fleeting. You might call it a candle in the wind. Doomed to die. Join us. Be eternal.
I don't really think so. Without that, we'd be nothing. We don't survive off anything that you give. Life is nothing without. And she points to the various elements clearly represented in front of her. This is life. You're just death.
There is life after death. And through the trees ahead, you see a large bear-like creature lumbering into the glade. It's sort of twisted and mangled. You can see on its head there's a mask instead of a face. And then another smaller creature. Perhaps it was a wolf or a dog or something. Next, you see a humanoid figure move through. Where the other two creatures stopped and sat as examples of life after death, The creature keeps walking towards you, the humanoid, this human. As it moves closer and closer to you, it begins to look like it's changing shape, sort of forming almost as though it changes into a dress-shaped figure. Its hair extends. Every step it takes leaves black ash rising in the glade as it steps towards you. And it stops 5 feet from you, looking just like what you see in the stream every morning when you wash.
Alright, this is a really funny trick, but it's actually kind of not. It's just being polite, but no. I don't want this. You can have your kingdom of ash.
The voice says, I am happy, Alienor. As its voice slowly turns into yours.
If I reached into my dress pocket, would my crystal riverstone still be there?
If you think it, it is so.
Yeah. Ilera reaches down into her dress pocket and grips it firmly. Doesn't take it out, but just grips it and goes, no. How could you be? This is everything you've been told not to. This is wrong. This is all wrong. You can't do this.
There is power. More than that. We are taught of 4. Well, 3, really. The 4th. It hesitates, unable to find the words. Raises a hand. And you can see a gout of flame rise from its palm. Aengiel. It seems this creature of shadow has control of it. The untamable element.
Okay, but that all that leaves behind is nothing. And she kind of motions with her bad arm, for lack of words right now, to a forest of ash behind her. That's all you have? Is that all you want? It's just ash?
Not just ash. There's all sorts of things that happen here. Without all of this. And as she says this, she turns her palm, gouting flame, towards the life tree. Its branches immediately burst into flame above you. You begin to feel colder as the darkness encroaches once more. She turns her hand around, destroying the glade too. And now the two of you stand on a rock, amidst a sea of lava. You know, before the other 3 powers came to be, Aengiel was always here. It owned the entire planet. It touched everything and created Everything. These rocks. Aengil solidified. The nourishment that Adair brings you. It's not water. It's moving Aengil's power around, quenching it, and turning it into nourishment. You know, and she gestures to this ground on this rock around you, that you won't find more fertile soil anywhere than here.
Aye, but this means nothing without the rest of it. You want fire, you want ash, but it will give you nothing if you don't have the others.
You requested the rock, Eleanor. You have it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to do with it? What's going through Eleanor's head right now? What's her inner dialogue?
She's been clenching it in her fist since she had thought of it. Just looking at the destruction around her. I mean, it's all ash. It's everything that she's been.
Now
taught.
it's more like a roiling sea of lava.
Yes.
Like, dead isn't the word anymore. There's life here. It's just very, very destructive. But this creature claims gives more life to things than anything you know currently.
She looks around. She's standing on a rock and she sees something that no one other than her she's seen contain. It's essentially to her wild magic or wild element. And she just watched the life tree burn into nothingness in front of her face, real or not. She's in shock. This is like her entire belief system has been shaken to its core. She doesn't really know what to think, but she's hoping if she just keeps gripping the single thing that reminds her of who she is right now in this sea of lava, that it will maybe take her back.
You move toward you. Which is a fun sentence.
It is.
Are you looking at this version of you? Or are you looking at the scene around you in shock? The life tree, for effect, is still there behind you on the rock, a burning stump.
She moved towards me. If I move towards me, I would definitely be scanning my face for any actual reason, not like physical, but like any sign that this is actually me.
She sort of like stares back, analyzing you with almost the same expression. Until, after a moment, she smiles. Your head feels cold. For just a moment. Not like your whole head, but just like a single needle of cold had stabbed into a certain part. And then she says, "You know that some people call whiskey firewater?" And she smiles. And you remember being that happy before, as you saw Kaiden returning from wound to being healed again. The elation that you felt when you were close to him and he was divulging secrets to you. She's smiling, like she's with Kaiden. She steps forward, closer to you, and reaches out her left hand towards your right as though to hold it.
Aelira kind of pulls back a little bit, but then reaches forward to kind of grab her own face. Like you would, like a really, it's quite like intimate, like what you would do to a child of your own. And says to herself, I see now. Even you are corruptible. And assuming the lava is right behind us since we're on a rock, shoves herself into the lava.
And in an instant, as she folds into the lava, not really with a splash, but as literally she hits it, the sort of reality folds around it and the glade spreads back out. The life tree behind you, the mask at the other end. The death is further away now. Almost back where it started. In your left hand, you realize as you pushed her, you were still holding that riverstone. And though your right hand felt cold when you touched her, felt colder, your left is unchanged. If anything, warmth is radiating through your body from that point.
Going back to the tree with my left arm, I put a hand next to where I had harmed it. So, all right. I see the actual danger now. I'll do my best. But even I can't fight it forever. Do you think you can fix this? And she kind of raises her right arm, talking to a tree, which is so far from weird for Eleanor. She's like, if you fix this, I might have a bit of a better chance, but...
As you push the riverstone into the tree bark next to where you harmed it, first you see that blackness sort of disappear, sort of like it's smoothed out and spread out like you would when you're erasing something, just gets thinner until it's almost nothing. And slowly the rock begins to disappear into the bark. As the rock disappears, you feel Aengil burn brighter, Adair blow harder, and Adair starts blowing the power of Aengil back towards the shadow. You feel Roym and Usgard in ceremony begin weaving together. And suddenly, you know how you can sometimes detect Kamoa around? Almost like you can feel their presence. It feels like there's hundreds of thousands of them beneath the ground. Suddenly a fissure appears in the middle of the glade. And water begins to gently pour out of it. Gently sloping down the mountain towards the death. And as the death begins to recede, you see the eyes in the mask, one eye wink out. Half of the mask starts to fall away. So it almost just looks damaged now, looking back at you. And it turns and flees. In that moment, you feel a stabbing pain in your wrist. Like, literally a stabbing pain. Like someone has just taken a dagger and stabbed it through your wrist. And if you look at it, you can see blood welling up.
Alright. Like, turn to the tree like, that's not quite what I meant, but alright.
As you turn to the tree is gone.
Am I still in the glade?
Turn to the glade is gone. All there is blackness that seems to gently wash away as though oil being watered down. And through the haze, you see Kaiden wrapping a bandage around your arm. He's wrapping it way too tight, it hurts.
Oh my god. Relief.
You need to stop him, though. You feel unable to talk right now, but you need to stop him from wrapping this bandage.
Alright, I'll try to, obviously stop him if I'm like, come to enough.
Okay, hang on. Let's get Mackenzie prepped to come in here. As like the wholesome, relaxing feeling of the tree fades and reality returns. Let's get Mackenzie in here too, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Kaiden, you feel Alienor grip your wrist as she sits up, her hand lancing out like a snake to grip it. As you look towards her face, you see the inky black film fading away.
Eleanor? Eleanor, can you hear me? Eleanor!
Kaiden, you don't have to yell, you just have to rap a little looser.
Oh, right, sorry. Right, I'm not a doctor. I will go loosen the bandage around your arm.
Is it still here?
The snake. No, it went inside you.
Did it come back out?
Did it come back out? I don't think I saw it.
It did not come back out.
I didn't see it. Are you alright though?
Alright would be quite the strong word for how I feel right now. But I'm not dead. So I guess I'm alright.
What happened?
A lot happened, to be honest, a whole lot.
How long was Alienor out?
Long enough for you to stab her arm and bandage it up.
Ow! Ow! That hurt me personally. Glad you're fine. You're not dead.
So Eleanor, I'm gonna say this sort of in code so Kaiden doesn't have to take her headphones out. You know that feeling I described on their face just seconds ago?
Mm-hmm.
That's back.
Oh my god.
I don't need to make you take your headphones off to exclude you, okay?
It's fine. I'm used to it. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Kaiden. Can you do me a favor?
Anything.
Can you find some whiskey?
As you say that, the pair of you hear a scream from towards the center of the compound. It kind of sounds like Eris. Except you've never heard Eris scream that loudly before in your life. It sounds like all of her body is going into this scream.
Alright, whiskey, go right. We gotta go.
Alright, help me up.
I help you up. I feel like I should have mentioned that entire time Kaiden was like gripping your hand pretty tightly.
Oh, Eleanor felt it. If Eleanor reaches into her pocket, her left pocket, does she still feel something there?
Still there.
Alright, Kaiden, out we go. And she... Oh, good.
I'd pull you up.
And before you leave that building, I would like to go and get Reese and Cash up to speed. So, thank you very much, you guys. Eleanor, hope you had fun. See you in a bit. Hey.
Hi.
I didn't get much sleep last night. It's starting to really hit me now.
That's true. It's method acting if I've ever seen it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Nearly as good as
I'm
nearly
not
as
acting.
nearly as good as the character that Renee made called Sleepy that literally fell asleep on stream. That was fantastic.
I saw that. Yeah, that
We're
was
gonna live it down.
No, you're not. It's amazing. It's a new Renee. Anyway, the bush forms this mask. You can see, Reese, that you haven't quite managed to behead you. Hang on a second.
Yep, I hear it.
The bush forms a mask, and the Julie is there, sort of on top of your sword. You see as she hits the ground that she's landed on her front, and the way she stands up looks kind of peculiar. The muscles don't work in the right ways. In fact, her knee bends the wrong way past the joint, and she stands almost like a creature instead of a person, but ends up roughly the right shape when she stands.
That's not right.
and the broadsword. Where's that again?
Just on the floor, right between her legs.
And her back is to me?
Yeah, you can just see like where the lever of her greaves is still wrapped around her knees. She's the sword hilt poking out from just under that lever.
I'm gonna grab it. Try to.
Reese,
What? Yes.
dagger. Can
Oh.
Cash hand him the dagger that they have?
Of course.
Dagger. Take it in back of the neck. Head.
Make me an attack roll with swords.
Oh, you are so generous giving me swords. And I appreciate it.
You stab the blade firmly into the back of her neck. The body spasms, limbs move more like tentacles than real muscles, almost like an elephant's trunk might, as all of the muscles seem to be more powerful than the rigidity of her bones. You can hear cracks and breaks as she moves around before going limp on the hilt of this dagger. And if you've let go of that, then she'll hit the floor.
I'm gonna let go, let her hit the ground, and this time, not take it out. I'm gonna leave it in. And then
There are
try
no
to-
puns to be made here. None.
Yeah. Yep. That's how Reese rolls. He leaves it in.
Great.
I'm gonna try to fish out the broadsword from underneath her.
Cashel, as you look at this bush, it begins to rise. Sort of like
bush.
it begins to stand. The branches split into like limbs so it can stand. However, you also see people running from the canteen and the wall, hearing at last the screams and moving towards you. You can see, you can hear the boosh as someone has powered up the fence. So assumedly so they can move more men away, as men are now moving towards the center of the compound. Lots of them are heading towards you, seeing this bush rise. And as you see that, you hear a scream from towards the center of the compound, near where the armory was and near where the castle was. That scream kinda sounds like Eris. Except that you've never ever heard anyone scream as loudly as this, and if it is Eris, they're screaming pretty loud, like everything they have they must be putting into this scream, like it really, really counts.
God.
Julie still isn't moving. The bush is like rising, but people are coming. Can I do like a quick scholarship roll or something to like try and see what I could interpret about these snake creatures? Because like I've been studying the Feondas for a while, and I feel like Cash is very much, Renee is very much like, what do? Bush move. But like Cash might actually know something.
Sure.
You got this, I believe.
I believe. You remember
I
you have
believe.
advantages as well.
Science or erudition? Erudition?
You could also, yeah, one of them would work.
I guess they're the same. I will use an advantage too. I think that's a great observation. We'll do science.
Oh,
Ooh,
yes.
Nice. Reese, would you mind giving us a moment? When I tap next, it will be just for you.
Oh, okay.
As in, I'll bring you back. Cash. That's how it does it. You've heard these Demorphin and Neonphin, like, with their witch doctor hoodoo ways, talking about elements that take over things, the energy of flux. Whatever it is, that's how it transfers the flux and takes control. It uses these tendrils of blackness, which are sort of like snakes, I guess, to manipulate things. Anything that has been living. So far you've seen humans, a bush, creatures in the forest. Who knows what else? Does a river count as living? Not sure.
It's all clicking together now. All of these pieces that I've like gotten as I see this happening, and I think that Cash, since this is all coming together at this moment, and like they don't have all that much time to process, I think it's more like scramble to their feet, grab their shoe, and like think or try and like store all of the information for like just get through this and then puzzle it out, because like as smart as they are, they're too high stressed right now. Adrenaline is too high. Can't think, must move.
Okay, so do you want to go back?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm marking down all of that information
Yeah.
in my head, not actually in my journal. No time. Can't think, must move.
Okay, let's get them back.
Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, hi.
Cash is like grabbing their shoe and like trying to kind of hop into it. You know, it's got a big hole in the side now. It makes it a little hard.
Both of you, as your foot finally gets in, hear a loud squelch.
That didn't sound good.
In the shoe?
Any of it.
Or from elsewhere?
In the shoe.
Wait,
In the shoe.
what?
And your
Eh.
toes, socked, I imagine, feel wet.
I mean, I think they probably already were because of the snow, but like, sure. Okay, I take the shoe off again and I look at
It
it.
feels warmer than the snow.
Oh.
Blood?
Yeah, if you take
Shake
your
it
shoe
out,
off and
I
have a
shake
look,
it out.
you see red cover the ground as blood. This seems to be the only thing that this goo left behind.
And can I? What on earth? Okay.
Hey,
That's
I'm
what-
gonna say one word, which pertains to what we just talked about, Cash.
Yeah.
Lux.
Yeah.
Probably the type you know most about.
Yeah. Okay. It's just weird. Okay, so I feel like Cash is at this point fine putting the shoe back on. Things are coming together. It's all good. The blood can be cleaned out later. Also new socks. But right now, shoe on. People are running towards us and there's still too much going on.
Okay. May I have a quick moment before we get the others who are about to burst out of the building behind you? May I have a quick moment with Reese?
Yeah, of course. Bye.
Why? Don't leave. Hi.
Reese. That scream.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How
He
you
wants
feeling?
to basically run in that direction. Like, now. Because
So, do you think it's better or worse that you didn't hear Hope scream too?
see, that's the thing, isn't it? It's one of those things where you think it's worse and you hope it's better, then you realize it's probably worse. And it's that back and forth of not knowing. The unknown is what makes it even worse, essentially. And he just like he wants to stay because there's people coming this way. There's a bush monster now that he's kind of feels like one of the only people who can take care of it, kind of.
Your
Like,
mind
military
reads-
training is kicking in essentially in his mind where he needs to take care of this now.
Your
but
mind will
at
be
the
put
same time-
slightly at ease as you see 10 score Turgak arrows hit the tree with quite a lot of precision. You and Cash haven't moved that far away from it as you're moving away, and the creature cries out.
Okay, that does make him feel a little bit better. And it's literally taking everything to keep him from running in that direction. Like, already, as people are flooding into this area, he is like sidestepping and sneaking that way to try to, like, not necessarily push through the crowd, but be ready to make a break in that direction and run for Eris and hopefully really hoping.
Just gonna say one last thing before we moved on, because let's just capture all of Reese's emotions here, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Reese, you covered for Eris so that she could go out and go and search. You tried to tell her to go to the armory, but you don't know whether she actually did or not.
Yeah, he doesn't really know where they are, so essentially he'd be just running blind into the area trying to look for them.
Then you sent Hope after her.
Yeah, that's part of the panic and the panic.
You okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's get everyone else back in. But as we do, let's get ready with the exciting music. Get ready for exciting music. Hello. Kaiden and Alienor burst out of the room next to you. On the snow, you see Julie, blackened and dead on the ground, with a dagger sticking out of her back of her neck, and all of her bones look like they're broken. Many, many places. Also, you see a large bush creature that is currently being attacked by the army, which is pressing in from the walls. However, Reese isn't looking at either of these things. Cash is, but Reese isn't looking at either of these things, as they are, I believe, beginning to start sidling and running towards the center of the compound, where you heard the scream.
All right.
We're just like hopping around on one foot to pulling the other shoe on. And it's dripping blood.
And there's a big hole in it, like a
big hole in it.
blade-shaped hole.
I'm laughing out of sheer stress right now.
That's what I'm here for. All right, hopping through the snow. Is Reese seriously like breaking off?
Kinda, yeah. He's like sidestepping that way. Like, there's people like flooding into this area. He's close to the wall. Like, if he had a break, he would probably take off in that direction.
Okay, I think that Cash is hopping after him then, because so far he has protected them.
Reese, you're running towards the scream, right?
Oh yeah.
Alright, okay. I unclip one of my daggers from the belt and just kind of shove it in Alior's hand, grab the other hand, and then just run after Reese.
Alienor. Kaiden's hand feel cold. Probably just the snow. It's probably fine.
Fuck.
Alright, come on!
All right, hold on. But there's one really important thing, and I take my Riverstone out of my left pocket, assuming, that one. Whatever hand we're holding, I'm like, just hold on a little bit and shove it between our hands and hold hands with the rock in between us. Like, don't ask questions, and like with the other hand with a dagger, just like swinging along.
All right, don't swing.
Oh God.
Don't swing that around. Don't swing that around. Don't try not to use that unless you need to.
I don't usually have pointy things like this. And she like kind of puts it back and swings the hand that we're like trying to power walk with Kaiden. With the
Half
stone hand.
Naruto, running essentially.
With the
Half
stone hand.
Naruto running essentially.
Like, yeah, I wasn't gonna say it.
Like, alright, I think they're going where we heard Eris.
All right, try to stay behind me if you can.
Alright, we're kind of holding hands. It's a little hard to do that, but alright. And like, tries to do it with a knife behind her.
What have I
Can I
done?
tell where the scream was coming from? Is there like any kind of...
Well, Reese and Cash have a better idea than Kaiden and Alienor because you were outside when it happened. I'm not saying you have echolocation, but you know it came from roughly over the Armory Castle, and there's another small-looking building there as well, which looks like it contains... It looks too small to be a latrine. The latrines are back that way, so maybe it has like access to a basement or something.
Alright. Once he gets a break and he sees everybody following him, he's gonna take it. Reese is gonna take it and start making his way in that direction.
All right, Reese, what in the 9Ls happened?
A lot. Just try to keep up.
All
We're
right,
gonna
well,
go
I
find
can
Eris. We're
tell.
gonna go find Eris. And he's
Fox, Feondas, you'll get it.
You're being helpful.
Running.
what happened? What happened to us?
Yeah, the trash heathens.
Yeah.
We never stood a chance.
As you all run, which building do you run towards?
Here's the
Everyone
thing.
Reese is running towards, yeah.
When he gets close enough, he's probably just gonna like scream for Reese or for Eris and Hope. Like both of them, just calling their names out, trying to get some kind of answer. To get an idea of where they are.
I need 1
Yeah.
second with Eris.
Oh, okay.
Eris, this will be a quick one. You hear from beyond the bookcase towards where the entrance was, although it sounds distant, Reese calling out your name and Hope's. Would you call back?
I mean, she's like frantically looking behind her because she's getting chased by a giant bear. So, I think she would maybe not call back, but like bang on the wall to let them.
You're in like a basement, banging on the wall. It'll just be like hard packed earth.
Well,
probably.
the bookcase is in the way, right?
Yeah, it sounds
So I was
distant. Though.
thinking,
It doesn't sound like they're down here. It sounds like they're trying to figure out which building you're in.
Yeah, I would yell for help then. And
Okay.
maybe.
You might as well stay here because there's nothing to hide here. Let's get them all back.
Okay.
This is for all of us, right? All of
Yes,
us?
everyone.
All right.
Reese,
Yeah.
you hear Eris call back in response. Although Eris, I think it's fair to say your voice probably feels a little bit hoarse after that scream.
Yes.
The basement
Is-
one, the one with the downstairs.
I kind of figured, but yeah, he's gonna go in that direction quickly. Just barrel that way, push the door open, kick it open if he has to, if it's locked.
It's not even a door. You can just head down the steps as the cold rescinds. It's nearly pitch black down here.
Jesus.
You can see at the end of the corridor, you can see that there is something away from you, and you can see walls there, because where Eris sort of like calls you from, you can see light illuminating the above something and like through the cracks of something which is blocking your access to her.
Get through it, push it out of the way. I don't know.
Any
Like a big
communication
boulder is in the way?
any communication between you as you get closer?
I mean, she has to have heard him coming. He's not exactly
Okay, like I would hear what I hear coming down the stairs.
boots, multiple boots,
Yeah.
stomping, probably a giant claymore accidentally scraping against a wall as he's running. Like,
Cash sings squish every time they step on their squishy shoe.
And Eris just yells like, "Bookcase, push, run!"
okay, he pushes.
Is there a bookcase? Do we see a bookcase?
It's a bookcase?
I mean, I guess it could be a bookcase. It looks the right sort of shape in the light to be maybe a bookcase.
Fuck it, it's going over.
Yeah, just barrel full shoulder right into it.
And Eris is gonna dodge out of the way.
As the two of you knock down this bookcase, it seems like the corridor fills with light as Eris's nebula, the only light down here, illuminates the hall. You see...
Eris!
Did you say you slammed the door behind you, Eris?
No, I don't think so. Her hands were full with the dagger in one hand and light in the other, so... And she's got, you can probably see on her arm, she's got black goo. I said run!
What?
Behind Eris, you see this looming figure, the size of a bear, moving through the doorway with that sort of mask that you've seen before. Everyone may run, except Reese. Reese, also behind Eris, is Hope. Their head isn't the right shape. It looks like someone's caved it in with a hammer.
Yeah, he freezes.
Reese, hand me the sword. Hand me the sword now.
I mean, literally, you could probably just take it.
I'm going to take it and give it to him.
If no one gets it, yeah, I'm taking it off, and I'm like, everyone go.
And Eris is gonna stop and put her rested arm on Reese's shoulder and just be like, she's gone, we have to go.
Sure, yeah. He's... If they pull her, or pull him, Reese will go. It's just kind of numb at this point.
Eris will grab the back of his cloak and just drag him up the stairs.
You can. He's a big guy. It'll take two of you.
Kaiden's let go of Eleanor's hand at this point and is just making sure everyone gets out of the room behind him.
Ash is running too, that's fine. You don't have to tell them twice. This whole thing is just buck wild, so they're just like squish, 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 and running.
Eleanor, get out of here!
Yeah, I'll be going with Eris and Reese. And if there's any extra motion to get Reese out, I'll kind of put it on his shoulder and move him.
It sounds to me like Cash might be the first out.
Sure.
A group of a fist of soldiers followed you down, seeing you run. One of them recognizes you and says, "Hey, Cashel, what's going on?"
Bad things.
All right, get your people out.
Yes.
And as you all
Squish.
pour out, these people go down into the darkness with their nebula rifles. And and you hear a series of shots. Then you hear another volley of shots. And then you hear another volley of shots. Outside on the snow, how are we all feeling? As you actually, for probably the first time this episode, each of you get a moment to breathe.
I have to roll.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm feeling.
Mental resistance roll?
Yes. Good reminder. So it's a 13.
Okay. That's you know. That's a result.
I think Eleanor also needs to roll.
By all means. Eleanor not doing quite so well.
Surprise!
Okay, let's have a quick moment with Eris first then. Hey Eris. How you doing?
I'm alive.
You are.
She's spooked really bad, and I think she has a hard time understanding, like, processing what happened to Hope as a person. She's more focused on, like, seeing the hope that she had for a different life, and it's just really lost and, like, doesn't know what to do. And then I also think, given events of last week, seeing Reese freeze at Hope and not really react to Eris being okay, has, like, shut her down, basically.
I think tiredness is the sort of general feeling, right? When, like, mentally and physically you feel tired, your arms, it makes you feel tired to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sad.
And she's just struggling to not just, like, pack up her shit and just walk back home.
What's the point of it all, right?
Yeah. I mean, she thought she had these friends, but they don't seem to listen to her. They don't trust her opinions about anything. They don't trust her concern or her worry. She wouldn't have been trapped down there with just her and Hope if they had just listened to her about how urgent it was to begin with, instead of stopping for breakfast.
Yeah. And you've seen Reese around breakfast time. You know he doesn't even like breakfast.
Yeah,
Trade.
It's not the first time that people have decided that other things are more important than her.
A familiar betrayal. Does that make it even worse? Did you maybe think that these friends might be different?
Yeah. This was supposed to be a new chance. She signed up for this because it was her chance to get away from home and to do something that meant something, and to be with people that she thought were weird like she was, and that might connect with her. But clearly that's not going to be the case. And so it's just like a kind of rewinding and starting the movie back from the beginning again. You want it to end differently, and it's just the same thing.
You okay,
With
Kelly?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. But she's just... I think she's in that place of being so tired and so resigned to this just being the cards that she's been dealt. And it's, to her, it doesn't necessarily feel sad or depressing right now. It's just a fact of the life that she's been given. It's just how this has to be, and it's just who she is and what she deserves. And so underneath it is like this little bit of resolve of like acceptance that she just has to be trapped, and that people don't give a shit.
Thank you for sharing. Fortunately, I imagine this will be the headspace we leave Eris in this week. But hey, as you opened, at least you're alive.
And she's not at home.
She's not at home. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next person. We love you, Kelly. All of us. Eleanor.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it too. You were able to flee, but there was hope. No amount of magic's gonna fix that. You saw Reese as well. The way that he stopped. Shock. Fear. Above it all, a hardness. A hardness that is very much reflected in Eris. How's Eleanor feeling?
Eleanor is wondering when she's gonna see Kaiden on the floor. Or Reese, or Eris, or Cash. Or if it's gonna be Kaiden. I mean, Kaiden looking at her on the floor. Who is it gonna be next? She didn't sign up to watch all of her friends die.
Does this make it feel a bit more real? fair sort of feeling.
Yeah, you know, she ran across a log, almost took Eris with her.
And it was
Still
all
had
fun
hope.
then, right? Like, you shot a thing, you stabbed a thing, no one got hurt.
Yeah, got stuck in a cave. Shoved her own self into lava. But now everyone could die.
Also, it may occur to you that as much as you're in a Magientist compound, Hope was a Tal'Kiri girl. These people probably don't have a Demorphin. You'll probably feel the weight of responsibility if you want her to be sent off with the right rights. You're probably going to have to do it yourself. Normally friends don't do that, but even when Demorphin fall, the Yonfen don't usually do their ceremony. They usually get a Demorphin from another village to come. It's just another
In
fact, though, you know.
the weirdest sense, Eleanor always thought that becoming a Demorphin would be like a happy moment. And this is like the moment she realizes that it's not the moment she thought it would be. And now she's a Demorphin.
Yep. Congratulations.
This is it.
Do you want to look at anyone in particular in your party? In this moment? As you realize, sort of like you're coming of age, I guess.
She doesn't want to look at Kaiden because it might just break her.
Who then? You don't have to look at any of them.
No one. Yeah. She'll probably kind of turn away. She's lost a part of herself today that she'll probably never get back. And she'll probably turn away to mourn it herself, as selfish as she feels for doing it.
You can step to one side of the group so you're not in the center, or the world feels very cold at the moment. In general. Cold because of the snow. Cold because of the death. Cold because you haven't seen a Kamo since you got here. Hey, this place is safe, Julie kept saying. Not sure if that makes it her fault, maybe that's not fair, but especially since she too now is dead up on the hill. Perhaps that's not quite fair, but you know, another fleeting thought.
I imagine there is probably quite a few bodies that need a Demorthan's attention right now. And Eleanor is going to leave to start taking care of that.
Okay, well, I won't let you get too far because I imagine someone might want to interact with that, but that's
attempt to leave.
We will leave you then. As I describe your face in these moments, shall I describe it as resigned? Sad? How would you describe Eleanor's face? Because I know at least Kaiden's almost certainly going to be looking.
Not shutting down, compartmentalizing. Sad, and then trying to just shut it off.
Thank you very much for sharing, Eleanor. I'm going to go to Cash next. Okay. Happy demorphoning? Hey, Cash. Everyone seems real bummed out around you right now. How's Cash feeling? Muted.
Am I unmuted?
Unmuted. There you go, you're good.
Good. Okay, you know how there's like weight in the air, like that tangible weight of like everything down? I think that's what Cash is feeling because like they're not feeling that emotion. They're feeling that other people are feeling that emotion. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Empathy.
Empathy. Huh. Nah. Can't be that.
That sounds a lot like empathy when you don't feel the thing, but you kind of feel it because other people are feeling it. That sounds like empathy to me.
Nah, I think it's just emotions and what the heck is happening? So like big. They're so big and I'm not experiencing them, but also I have just enough tact. And not a lot of tact, mind you, but just enough tact to like respect it and feel that feeling in the air.
And it's pretty heavy. You can see Eris almost like wears a cold mask. Her eyes look like they're full of tears, but she blinks and they're gone. Eleanor looks sad. Resigned. They step slightly to the side of the group and aren't looking at any of you. Looking away into the snow. I don't know what Reese and Kaiden are doing yet, but I imagine they look sad. Reese is probably in some amount of shock.
Yep. This is how it's gonna be for a bit. Didn't know her long. Didn't know any of them long. People die.
What they do.
I will get a chance to study the body. If there's a body left. But of course, they're hurting.
Idle speculations. How would you say Cashel's demeanor is to everyone around her? Sad? Tired?
I think monotonous might be the right. Sure, tired. Yeah. But also just like there's they've been like so high energy for so long, like with all of everything that's been going on, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, don't say much, don't make squishing sounds. Okay. So they like kind of like school their face into just like a flat line and just like observe instead of interact. So there's not really a readable emotion so much because there's not really an emotion there. It's just
Trained face. That's perfectly valid.
trained. That's a great word. Your voice. You were so good. Do you know that?
Why, thank you. I try. Okay. Ashley, I'm gonna go grab Kaiden. We'll grab you all in at the end.
Okay, bye.
Catch you later. So that happened.
Aye.
How's Kaiden feeling? The shock wears off, obviously.
Death happens, I guess. It's weird going back to space, but it's just cold and hard. He hasn't had to deal with death in a very long time. And there is a weird sense of relief that comes with it, because he never entirely trusted hope. And there's a weird relief knowing that maybe nothing would have come of it. And that's good. And at the same time, there's a lot of guilt that comes with that relief. I shouldn't be happy that someone died, but at the same time, I am. Not happy, I guess, but hey, the past may not come and bite me in the ass after all.
That's deplorable, Kaiden.
Yeah.
That's a
He
gross
feels it.
thing to think.
Mm-hmm. He feels it.
You know what? That's not
Mhm.
even gonna make you angry. That emotion completely flips, and you are hit by crushing tiredness.
I
Alienor moves to the side of the group and looks away, not looking at anyone.
She kept the rock, didn't she?
She kept the rock. Her face looks sad, resigned. She's avoiding looking at anyone. You included.
I deserve that.
Yeah, you do.
It's funny, for a moment I thought I could be a good person. That didn't last long. I don't do this. This isn't my thing. I'm not honest. I don't try to be honest. I tried that. I tried being honest with people, and I tried trusting people, and it ended me here. And this is why we don't do this. I'm not a good person. I don't get good things. I'm a liar. I'm a cheat, and I take pleasure in when people die because it benefits me sometimes.
And as those thoughts settle in, Another thought rises from the anger you felt earlier. Oh, so you're making this all about you.
It's what we do. We do what it takes to survive. That's what we've always done. That means being an absolute despicable person. That's what it does. That's what it means. We live with the consequences. We don't get happy endings.
Who does? You okay, Mackenzie? As I describe Kaiden to everyone else, should I describe him as looking frustrated, sad? Combination?
It's blank. It's almost like old habit, really. Puts the sword on his back, puts the knife on his belt, starts almost going through motions that he used to do when he was a thief and a bandit and a killer. Cleaning weapons even though there's nothing on them, putting them away. Just completely cold. Avoiding Alienor the most, but... No, avoiding Alienor definitely, but almost mechanically doing rounds, talking to the guards who made it out, trying to piece together what happened. Old hat.
They won't give up much, but before you do that, we'll leave you there just before, on the cusp of starting moving into action, as I'd like to go and get Reese's thoughts as well.
Alright.
Thank you for sharing, Kaiden. Hey, Reese.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One big yike.
The biggest of yikes. Yeah.
You probably can't get the image out of your mind.
Yeah, it's just another one for the books, essentially. As if he didn't have enough bad shit floating around in his head. This is just, another one.
Think there's anyone to blame here?
Did her eyes look dark? Like Feondas?
Like Julie's.
Then no, not really.
Julie said this place was safe, though, right? You couldn't have known that when you sent Eris and Hope off alone together.
That doesn't matter. He still blames himself. I mean, he literally told her to go. She wanted answers and he sent her, so... I mean, it's literally mostly his fault.
And there it is. The wink.
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
You okay, Kayla?
Yeah. Kayla's fine. Reese just feels like shit, and Kayla gets to feel it also.
Yeah, it'd be that way. Well, there's tiredness, definitely. You feel tired. Would Reese cry? Would Reese try and hold back tears?
Once the numbness wears off, I don't think he'd be able to stop it. It would just happen without him really consciously deciding that it was at this point. I mean, because literally, Reese hasn't had a lot to look forward to at all in life. I mean, he's lived alone for so many years, and like, the first thing he really had to look forward to is just gone. I mean, it's not even a joke. He's literally hopeless at this point. There's just nothing. He just doesn't even know what to do. Just kind of falls down and just sits there, stares at the ground, and just feels sad and alone again. Very alone.
Snow feels cold, but you can barely feel it.
He just doesn't know what else to do.
Fortunately, I think this is where we're going to leave Reese this week. Is that okay, Kayla?
Yeah.
We can move on if you want to leave this headspace before we go.
That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to pull everyone back.
This is why we do bleed.
This is why we do bleed exercise.
This is why we do bleed.
Okay, let's get everyone back then, shall we? As the 5 of you, no one even suggested trying to talk to the other people around you. Before any of you move, I'd like to leave us on this moment, ready for next week. You lost a friend today. Certainly makes everything feel more real. Now we have to remember her by her song. That's going to be the end of the show tonight, everyone. Thank you so much, Sphinx, coming in at the end, donating an auto success to everyone. I'll put them on the overlay for next week. For now, we're gonna roll.
What?
One.
What am I gonna do when Renee needs to cry and Cash doesn't? I've never thought through this before.
Well, I guess we'll find out in the after session wrap. Oof. Please check out all of the closing links, everyone, including all of the things you see there. Big shout out to Mage Hand Press for our sponsors and make this all possible. keep on evoking emotions. We'll see you all next week for more Tact and Diplomacy. Yeah.